So let me back up one step to try to be fair to this, we'll call it person, in terms of, well, what is good or bad about how modern films are made. Now, I don't think Mauler, as he calls himself, doesn't understand films at all, so I don't take him too seriously. But if there is a major problem in a film, I think it's fine to be critical and even be a little angry. So we're going to look at a case where we converge with Ant-Man 3 and what is perhaps more a systemic problem with the MCU versus, I think, him just being stupid.
Into his mind only to complain about what you heard. In fact, I would kindly like for you to fuck off at this point, unless, of course, you need to clear their names.
What's Earth? It's also where we're from.
We should torture them.
Why are you always trying to torture people?
How the fuck are you all this inefficient? You have a bloody mind reader. Just ask whether he's a spy and read.
Do things come out of your holes?
Stop asking about his holes. Some of us have holes. What are you doing here?
Ugh, this is getting pretty stanky. Fast-paced, edgy but for kids dialogue, and the straight-talking guy who's just trying to make sense of his wacky friends. All of this could have been solved ages ago if you lads had one brain cell between you. What?
Well, I agree. Quaz is a major dilemma. If you do have a telepath and these rebels are struggling with their revolution, it does raise quite a few questions. Because it does seem like you're able to read Kang's mind. In principle, we don't know for sure. Maybe Kang could resist being read through a telepath. However, in principle, this does give you a lot of power over your enemies. Being able to read the mind and intentions of your enemies gives you a huge advantage. So why exactly are you struggling? It just seems you have to be careful, but put Quaz at certain locations so he could read the mind of XYZ to understand the plans of the enemy. That would give you a huge boost. But as far as we know, they've been struggling for a while against Kang. But you have a telepath. How does that work exactly? Again, we're here with Star Wars and the Force again. You have the Force, which apparently only a few people do. So that should give you the immediate advantage over any and all opponents. But somehow there may be limits. Okay, that's fine. That still gives you a huge advantage. So how could you ever lose a fight in principle? We don't know, because we don't know fully how the Force works. But I think we know how telepathy works. And it seems Quaz is a powerful telepath. So it's not exactly a plot hole, but it is a massive question mark. And I just don't think the film did a very good job of saying, well, how does this work exactly? At this point, we don't really know, but I would count this as a really bad element in the film. So that's fair.
When people touch that, they can see your mind and apparently your life's work. That's not something you would want. That's not something anyone would ever want, and you would probably build something to prevent it, if you weren't a fucking idiot.
When I touched it, I saw his mind.
So there you have it. Janet now knows he's a super evilman. Why the fuck would anyone's ship work this way? Why'd you let her touch it if you know that's what it's gonna do? How the fuck did any of this happen? They did it again. It's the pissing memory store, the one that shows everyone the great shit you took. You just can't come up with any creative solutions to writing problems. There are no layers here, nothing clever.
So yes, everyone, in a science fiction film, which has science fiction, we have a memory ship. And somehow Mauler is genuinely puzzled. Oh, we got a memory ship. That just destroyed the MCU. Why? Why did it destroy the MCU? Oh, it's just lazy. It's just lazy writing. Why? How is it lazy writing? Why is it writing at all? We're looking at a film. You realize a film was directed, right? A film is directed with actors. It's not like they magically have a script. They put it into a machine that creates a movie. So are you saying the script is lazy or the screenwriter's lazy? You need to be more precise. Also, how is this lazy? How is this bad? Oh yeah, well, why would Kang let his memories be read? But Kang is not ashamed of what he did. He frames it as something heroic. He did something necessary to save, quote, the multiverse. Of course, he's a supervillain. He would think this. I'm not making a case for the memory chip, by the way. I am completely indifferent. In my own personal opinion, I do think it's pretty stupid. However, being genuinely not biased, it's a memory chip. It's science fiction. He has advanced technology. Is it possible for him to have a memory chip? Yes. Is it a good idea? I just think it's there. It's not a good idea or it's a bad idea. Clearly it's a bad idea because it reveals who he is. but he's not ashamed of who he is. And bad guys do leave trophies around. So if you have to make a case for it, and again, I don't care about this issue, I'd say, I don't know, maybe it's like his trophy. Maybe he just likes having it around. Why is this bad? You haven't explained why it's bad, but he keeps going on and on about the memory ship, and I'm like, okay, so Strange, Multiverse of Madness bad because memory store. Ant-Man 3, bad because memory ship. This is bad to you. Okay, we have a name for that. It's called subjectivity, which apparently he does not like. So, alright. As usual, this video essay is pretty worthless, but he did raise a few genuine issues, and I do think Quaz and the telepathy problem is definitely something you can hone in on as a very problematic aspect they don't really work through, and I do think renders this, at best, an okay movie. Maybe not the worst film of all time, but very weak.